Hi guys, what's up? So this is part 2 on how to make a snake game in Scratch. So I'm just gonna repeat what I did in part 1. We coded for the snake's movement and we created clones so that it looks like it's a really long snake. So do watch part 1 to see how to make the snake move. So let's get back to the code. Let's get started with part 2. So we got a code for when the snake is touching the edge. So pick a block, says if, and then say touching, then edge. First we got it to hide, and then we need to broadcast a message. I'm gonna name the message as edge. And then I'm gonna make it play a sound. Sound is gonna be I think door closing. It's something like this. Yeah. I'm gonna just make it a bit louder. And go to sound and drag this block. And then stop all. Yeah, so now, what if the real sprite that we created, that's a square, instead of that, what if the clone is touching it? So just in case, duplicate this edge code, and then go to control, and drag forever loop, and then down, and another when I start as clone. I'm just gonna drag this up. Now let's try it. I'm gonna purposely make it to the edge. So now let's make something happen when the backdrop receives this edge message. So when the flag is clicked, it will switch to the game mode backdrop, and when it receives edge, it's going to switch the backdrop to game over. Oh, the snake doesn't show up at all because we hid it. So go to looks and drag a show block and place it here. Great. Click it, it's showing, and the backdrop is to the game mode backdrop. So now, we got a code for the food. So let's make it show first, and say when flag is clicked, you gotta show it, because we're gonna hide it later. And flag click, show, and a forever loop, and then go to motion, and if you wanted to make it go to random positions, so you can use this go to random position block. Yeah, but as you can see, sometimes the sprite may go even beyond the screen, so I don't want that to happen. I'm not gonna use this block. I'm going to use this block. Go to X, Y. Go to operators and pick random 1 to 10 blocks. And let's place it here. This is the maximum X position as well as the Y position I want it to go. Just going to duplicate this pick random block and place it here as well. The X position is negative 156. Y is 89. I'm going to drag it here. This is the least X position I want it to go. So that's 281. I'll drag it down, the least Y position, negative 230. I'm just gonna place it here, yeah. So I'm gonna place this go to block inside the forever. It's too fast. So we don't want that to happen. So we'll control and pick wait until block. So we want it to wait until it's touching the snake. Also, want to switch its costumes. So pick a switch costume to block, and from the operators, just pick random block again, and go to costumes. And I'm gonna check how much costumes I have. It's 5. So pick random 1, 2, 5. So let's see now. Changing costumes. Let's go going to random positions. Exactly what we wanted. And now, hit control and pick an if then and say if touching the snake. Then you gotta create a variable now. I'm gonna call it food eaten. So that's gonna show how much times it has eaten the food, or maybe touched the food. So change the food eaten by 1, and then wait 1 second. So before this is gonna wait, right? So before this, we want it to repeat the same code. Go to X, pick random, and switch costume to a random, and then wait. And then change the food eaten by 1, and then wait 1 second, so that food eaten does not increase to bigger numbers like 2 or 3. And now, your events in when I receive edge block, and then go to looks and pick this hide block. Yeah, so now we're good to go. I'll clean up my blocks. And now, let's code for when the snake is touching the food here as well. So if it's touching the food, we gotta place on. So I'm gonna pick the chomp. So it's like taking a bite. So I really like that. Yeah. Just gonna make it a bit harder. And then go to looks. Sorry, sound. And place down chomp until done. Yeah, I think that's all. Then I'm just gonna duplicate this and I'm gonna place it here as well. I'm gonna clean up my blocks. Yeah. So there's just one teeny tiny bit of code remaining. When the flag is clicked, we need it to hide the variable food eaten and set food eaten to 0. And later, when it's touching the edge, we want to show the variable. Show the variable food eaten. Don't forget to apply the changes. Whatever you make the changes here, also make the changes here, or else your game is gonna spoil a bit, and you won't understand what the mistake is. And since we have used so many blocks. Now, just either double click on it or right click and select the large readout. And then I'm just going to switch the backdrop to game over. And I'm going to place it here. Yeah, that's good. Let's try out the game now. Yeah, it's switched to a random costume and a random position. And the snake has gone to 0, 0. Snake is moving, and it's going the first random position. Yeah, there's some sort of a lag. Not able to get it yet. Yes. Because there's some sort of a lag, but yeah, it's so fine, and we can still go through ourselves, but if we pick this block with Says and Sensing, I'm gonna go to Snake. Yeah, if we take this block, the touching color block, and we set it to the color of this, that's the only way to do that. So if we do that, and we see that if it's touching this color, that means it's itself, the game should stop. What's gonna happen is the game would stop at the beginning, because at the beginning it's touching itself. So we can't actually do that. So that's why I didn't do it, but still, yeah. our game is fine. If you don't want this lag to happen, you can just turn on the turbo mode. But that lag issue is perfect. So guys, I hope you enjoyed making this game. Do like, share, and subscribe. If you have any questions, please comment, and I'll be coming up with more tutorials in Scratch 3.0. So until then, bye.